The unbroken chain. She didn't seem like a force of nature, not the kind that topples trees or floods rivers. She was quiet, her jacket zipped high, her eyes downcast, her hands clutching a necklace worn smooth by time and loss. But when they laughed, when they shattered the only piece of her mother she had left, they didn't know they were stirring something fierce, something honed in silence. This isn't just a story about bullying, it's about dignity forged into discipline, about a girl who said nothing but taught a small town what strength truly means. Stay with us, because what happens next will linger in your mind long after the story ends. In the small town of Willow Creek, Iowa, the first thing folks noticed about Sarah Thompson wasn't her face or her voice, it was the faint glint of a pendant, a small sapphire catching the sunlight as it hung from a thin silver chain around her neck. The 16-year-old moved through Willow Creek High like a shadow, her faded jeans and oversized jacket blending into the crowded hallways. She was a junior, black, and invisible in a town where the grain silos stood taller than its ambitions, and the air carried the weight of old prejudices. Sarah was the kind of girl nobody bothered to know, and she preferred it that way. Her silence was her shield, her solitude her sanctuary. The necklace was her mother's, a gift from Diane Thompson, who'd worn it through every hospital visit, every round of chemo, until her final days. When Diane's voice was too weak to carry, she pressed the sapphire into Sarah's hand and whispered, "This will hold you when I can't." Sarah hadn't taken it off since. She lived now with her Uncle James, a former Marine who ran a modest dojo behind their weathered farmhouse. He was a man of few words, his face etched with the scars of war and grief. He never spoke of Diane, but Sarah caught him staring at the necklace sometimes, like it carried a debt he couldn't pay. At school, nobody asked about the necklace. Nobody asked about Sarah at all. That is, until they saw it. It was a warm September afternoon, and Sarah was sketching in the courtyard, her earbuds in, the pendant glinting beneath her collar. Across the quad, 3 figures froze. Jessica Harper, the mayor's daughter, blonde and sharp as a blade. Ryan Carter, the star quarterback with a smile that hid a cruel streak. And Emily Gwynn, whose TikTok fame came from turning pain into viral content. They weren't smiling, they were hunting. Jessica's eyes locked on the necklace, and Sarah's fingers instinctively reached for it, sensing the storm about to break. Willow Creek High had its own royalty, and Jessica, Ryan, and Emily were its crowned wolves. Jessica led with a voice like honey laced with venom, deciding who sat where, who mattered, and who didn't. Ryan, with his Letterman jacket and easy charm, filmed every prank, every shove, turning cruelty into clout. Emily was the quietest, her edits surgical, her videos slicing reputations with a single caption. Together, they ruled the school's polished halls, where the pecking order was as clear as the trophy case by the front office. Sarah? She was prey before she even knew it. It started smell a smirk, a whisper, a pencil knocked from her hand. In the hallway, Jessica leaned too close, her perfume sharp. "You always move like you're late for detention," she said, loud enough for her friends to laugh. In class, Ryan zoomed in on Sarah's tired eyes, overlaying the clip with a cartoon yawn and the caption "Snooze Fest." It got 20,000 views. Emily's videos were worse, her edits turning Sarah's solitude into a punchline. One clip, captioned "Loner Vibes," showed Sarah under the bleachers, sketching, the sapphire necklace mocked as thrift store chic. The comments stung. "She looks like she cries in her sleep." Sarah didn't see the videos, but she felt the laughter, the snickers trailing her like smoke. Then came the cafeteria. Sarah sat in her usual corner, sketching her mother's hands, when Jessica's shadow fell across her table. Ryan and Emily flanked her, their smiles predatory. "Still drawing your sad little pictures?" Jessica purred. Sarah didn't respond, just closed her sketchbook. Jessica's eyes slid to the necklace. "What's that?" "Your mom's old junk. But it's fake." The word mom hit like a slap. Sarah's jaw tightened, but she stayed silent. Ryan stepped forward, his tray wobbling with spaghetti, milk, and mashed potatoes. "Make a wish," he grinned, then tripped. The food hit Sarah like a wave, soggy pasta on her chest, milk soaking her sketchbook, potatoes in her lap. The cafeteria roared with laughter. Emily's phone caught it all, her mock gasp, trauma couture, fueling the chaos. Jessica crouched low, her whisper cutting deeper than the food. "Your mom's gone. You're nothing." Sarah stood, her sketchbook dripping, and walked out, the laughter echoing behind her. Behind the storage sheds, alone, she let the tears come not from shame, but from the violation of her grief. She clutched the pendant, its sapphire cold against her skin, and felt something shift. It wasn't just pain Anna Maria it was kindling. The next morning, Sarah sat under an oak tree, her sketchbook crinkled but open. She was shading her mother's smile when Jessica's voice cut through. "You just don't learn, do you?" Ryan and Emily circled, their laughter sharp. Jessica's hand shot out, yanking the necklace. The chain snapped, the sapphire hitting the dirt. Sarah lunged, but Ryan shoved her back, her palms scraping the ground. Emily's boot came down, crushing the pendant with a sickening crunch. The sapphire shattered, its fragments dull in the dust. Jessica crouched, her voice bored. "Now you don't have to pretend she's still here." Ryan tossed a juice box, splashing Sarah's jeans. "Smile, broken doll," Emily said, her phone recording. Nobody helped, not the kids watching, not the teacher turning away. Sarah gathered the shards, her hands trembling, her grief now a public joke. By afternoon, Emily's video was viral, edited to make Sarah look unhinged, lunging at Jessica over cheap jewelry. It hit 50,000 views. In the bathroom, Sarah locked herself in a stall, the broken necklace in her palm. The tears came, raw and feral, but beneath them, something else stirred rage, not loud, but patient, burning like a coal. She wasn't going to disappear anymore. That night, Sarah slipped into the dojo behind the farmhouse. The air smelled of pine and sweat, the mat scuffed from years of training. She hadn't been here since her mother's funeral, but now she pushed open the door. James was there, seated on a bench, his work boots dusted with sawdust. "I need to train again," Sarah said. He studied her eyes, then handed her a folded black Geyer Mother's. "You earn it like everyone else," he said. She nodded. The training was brutal push-ups, kicks, stances that left her shaking. But every strike, every fall, burned away the laughter, the shame. She punched until her knuckles stung, Tiffany's grin and Emily's boot blurring into motion. "I'm not broken," she whispered, then louder, until it was truth. Weeks passed. Sarah trained daily, her body growing stronger, her mind sharper. She filled her sketchbook with notes, Jessica's cheer schedule, Ryan's weight room habits, Emily's AV room visits. She wasn't planning revenge, she was mapping the terrain. James taught her control, not anger. "You don't fight to hurt," he said. "You fight to be whole." One night, he gave her a tiny body cam, military grade, motion activated. "They won't believe you unless you bleed," he said. "Make them see." Sarah wore the cam under her jacket, its hum a quiet ally. At school, she moved different, no longer shrinking, but steady. Jessica's fake sympathy, Ryan's taunts, Emily's smirks all recorded. The cam caught every word, every lie. Sarah didn't post, didn't rage. She waited. The pep rally was a spectacle, cheerleaders, confetti, the principal clapping like a politician. Jessica shone at the center, Ryan and Emily her court. But Sarah was already outside, waiting in the staff lot, a gravel patch beyond the bleachers, no cameras, no witnesses. The trio appeared, laughing, until they saw her. Jessica's smile faltered. "Look who grew a spine," she sneered. Ryan stepped forward, football in hand. "Let's make this quick." Sarah's voice was low, iron. "You broke what tied me to her. Now I'll show you what she taught me." Ryan charged. Sarah pivoted, her heel striking his knee with a precise hook kick. He collapsed, cursing. Emily fumbled for pepper spray, but Sarah disarmed her with a twist, whispering, "You filmed everything, but not this." Jessica bolted, tripping on a curb, her confidence crumbling. Sarah stood over her, calm. "I'm not what you said I was. But now you see who you are." She turned and walked away, leaving them in the dirt. Sarah sent the footage to a local blog, Willow Creek Truth. By morning, it was everywhere: TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. The unedited video showed her restraint, their cruelty. Hashtags erupted. "Justice for Sarah, Willow Creek exposed." Former students shared their stories: black kids suspended for nothing, others silenced by the school's reputation. The principal was suspended, the town forced to reckon with its shadows. Jessica, Ryan, and Emily faded, their power stripped not by violence, but by truth. A week later, Sarah stood in a jewelry shop, the broken sapphire in a felt pouch. The old jeweler studied the shards. I can't fix it like before, he said, but I can make something new. Sarah nodded. Let the cracks show. 3 days later, the necklace was reborn, fractures laced with silver, the chain strong, the back engraved. Strength, memory, rise. She wore it again, not as a wound, but as a badge. On Saturday, Sarah stood in the dojo, teaching 6 new students. A shy girl, Aisha, hung back, afraid of being laughed at. Sarah crouched, touching her necklace. Show them how strong silence can be, she said. Aisha stepped forward, and Sarah felt her mother's presence, not gone, but woven into her. This wasn't about revenge, it was about wholeness. Sarah didn't scream or beg. She showed Willow Creek what it tried to erase. Her story reminds us that dignity isn't won with fists, but with restraint, with standing tall when others expect you to break. The cracks in her necklace, like the scars we all carry, aren't weakness, the reproof we've endured. What do you think? Did Sarah go too far, or was her fight justified? Have you faced injustice and chosen silence or action? Share your thoughts below. We're listening, and so is someone out there who needs to know they're not alone.